What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be talking about the top 5 players you need to pick up in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. And we don't know the stats of any players. You don't know what type of cards are going to be released day 1. So I'm not going to be giving specific players, but I'm going to be giving types of players and then some players that may fit into that kind of build. I also will not be suggesting anyone Ruby or higher. I think cards that you can purchase that are Ruby or higher will all be way too, not too expensive day 1. You will be able to get some of them, but they'll be too expensive for what they're worth. And again, as soon as, I think it's like the Prime set, I think that's what it's called, the equivalent of the 20th anniversary, means that there's going to be a pink dime released in September. So by the end of September, the market will have almost completely crashed on current players, so I would not advise you guys to buy anything over Sapphire. The reason why I think Sapphires might be okay and really cheap like last year is if they still have that pack. It was like almost like a welcome pack where you could buy 3 of them and it gave you a Sapphire card or higher. They completely crashed the market on Sapphires day 1, which is why the silvers were so expensive. So basically, I would not advise you guys to buy Ruby or higher in anything. And if any of the cards I mentioned are Ruby or higher, then just ignore them. Or if a player that I mentioned happens to be a Ruby, then ignore it and go with something else. So at the point guard position, there are 3 things that matter: speed, 3-point shot, and dunk. That's it. If you do get a card with a gold Giant Slayer badge, I highly doubt that a lot of cards Sapphire and lower will have anything above bronze badges, because that was not the case last year at the start of the game. So the Giant Slayer badge does make smaller cards a little more feasible, a little bit more usable. But if a card isn't going to dunk, I think without that badge is not going to be anything spectacular. So I'd advise you guys to get more so slashing dunking point guards. And also for some speed. Defensively, lateral quickness is really the only thing that matters. And also, you don't need passing, really. Like, passing's good, but you can't have everything on a day 1 card. So that's one thing you can kind of almost ignore on point guards, because there's not going to be much lob cheese going on, things like that. Later on in the year, it is something that matters, but early in the year, it isn't. And also, you need 3-point shooting. And I don't mean need a card to be a great 3-point shooter. Like a 73-shot 3 plus, to be honest. If you're wide open, they'll hit them. You need a competent enough 3-point shooter that if your defender does completely sag off, you'll be able to hit them. So I'm trying to think of cards that are going to really fit that mold. If you do want to pick the Derrick Rose up, if that is your choice of starter card, that one will be a great card to use. Bob Sura, if Bob Sura has a good release, he will be so cheese. Then also, if you're looking at Sapphire token rewards, Michael Carter-Williams could be a good card to use. Trying to think of who else could be good. D'Angelo Russell, nah, his release is a little bit too slow. If Donovan Mitchell is a 2-guard / point guard, he might be alright to use. And then also as a wild card, just a complete wild card, I would put in Ben Simmons, because he is a 6'10" card that can play point guard. So I know obviously he doesn't shoot the ball at all, but he's 6'10". He is the exception to the rule when I'm talking about point guards. At the 2-guard position, realistically, you guys don't need a slasher at the 2. You can get away, like, in terms of saving MT, the positions that are easiest to save on and just like hide are the 2 and the 3. If you run with both of these, your 2 and 3 in the same way, you are going to be fine. A 3-and-D guy who is like 6'6" plus. Like, that's it. That's literally what you need. Because you can't have every card to do everything. In my opinion, you should focus on one player out of your 1, 2, and 3. You should focus on one of them. Me, normally, I like to do them with my point guard or whoever is playing the point guard position. But you can have like your primary ball handler playing the 2 and the 3 and run everything through them. Maybe T-Mac, Vince Carter, something like that. It's not a big deal in the world if that's the case. I just would rather do it with my point guard. And then for the other 2 positions, a 3-and-D point guard or a 3-and-D 2-guard, and the small forward position. The easiest to get long 3-and-D players is for the 2 and the 3. So I don't know, like a Klay Thompson type player, but I would not suggest Klay Thompson specifically. because Klay Thompson is always going to be really overpriced. He's going to be a lights out 3-point shooter, don't get me wrong, but there are going to be cards that do the exact same job as Klay and are so cheap. So if you're looking at 2 guards, I don't even know who exactly to pick. Like, if Joe Harris has base 8, which I don't think they're going to give it to him again, he could be a really nice card. If you're looking at token rewards, Jason Richardson, I know he's going to be a good dunker. He might be quite good to use. Isaiah Ryder, again, going to be a bit of a dunker. And yeah, cards like that are going to be kind of effective. You need your wings to shoot. You need your wings to shoot. Your point guard, your slasher, can get away with not being the best shooter, but you need an 85 plus 3-pointer on your 2 and your 3, because that is going to make a big difference. At the small forward position, I would advise you guys to do the exact same. Look for defense, look for 3-point shooting. However, you also will be able to find a lot more people that can slash as well as do those things at small forward position, and go for height. So a card that I would actually, it might sound kind of crazy, that I would suggest to pick up is the Chandler Parsons token reward, because Chandler Parsons is 6'10". He's going to be a lights out 3-point shooter, and also, while he's not going to be a good defender, you guys know height makes such a big difference with contesting shots. Height makes such a big difference with a lot of things on defense. And also, he's got kind of a bigger build-in game. His body's kind of bigger, so he's going to be harder to get around. Because obviously, the larger the surface area is in game, the less you're going to have to move left and right. So he's kind of broad, so he's going to be a decent defender. He's a card I would suggest to pick up. But again, day 1 of this game, I will have a complete list of the best individual players to buy. But in this video, I'm going over the types of players to buy. I'm going to pretty much stick with this strategy anyway when I'm picking my team, and these are the types of players I'm going to be looking for. The reason why I'm making this video now is because I don't know when I'm going to get to game day 1. I'm going to be in LA for launch. I might only get it at American launch time. So if that is the case, then it means that an entire day will have gone by for Australians, where some of them might be looking for this channel for cards, and I won't be able to tell you guys the best individual ones. So I'm just giving you guys tips. The power forward position, there are kind of 2 ways you can go about this, and I think I said this in my video last year, that you can go small ball and like small forward, power forward hybrid. So most small forwards, power forwards have got dual positions. So like kind of the taller ones like LeBron James, like Anthony Davis. Sorry, not Anthony Davis, like Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know why I said Anthony Davis. So if you are going to use one of those kind of stretch fours, if they can shoot, use them as like a shooter. Being able to handle can kind of be good if they can catch the board and push it, especially early on in the game. If there is some version of Jared Jeffries, he might be alright to use, but I don't think there is launch. There was last year. And also, I know I would suggest to not pick up these guys, but if you are absolutely insistent on picking up a current player, Giannis is going to be the best of the current players. Play at a power forward position. You use the 3 and D with all 3 of point guard, 2 guard, and small forward. You ISO with Giannis, and that's going to be an effective way to do it. I won't be personally doing that, but it is something you definitely can do if you want to do it on launch day. And I'm not going to really say not to do that. I'm not going to push too hard for that because Giannis is going to be incredible. So the other option is a shot blocking shooter. You need your power forward to shoot. Like, there is no question about it. You need a power forward to shoot unless you're running someone like Giannis there. Unless you're running a ball handler. So a guy like Kristaps, if he's a Sapphire or lower, he'll be used on every single team because he won't be nearly as expensive as if he's a Ruby or higher, which I think is going to be the case. I'm trying to think of who else. Serge Ibaka. Normally he's a good player to use. And then the rest of these cards we won't really know until launch day. I don't think there's many that I can think of off the top of my head. Kuzma might be alright. If Tatum can play there, he might be alright. But they're more so stretch fours. I can't really think of shot blocking shooters. But yeah, now we're on to the center position. And there are 2 ways you can go about this. And I just realized this is almost the same as what I said last year. But I believe I was 100% right with the tips I gave last year. So I'm going to stick with them again this year. There are 2 ways. And neither is right, neither is wrong. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to do. I'm going to be running with a decent rebounding, decent shot blocking, 3-point shooting center. I'm going to be running launch day with Rafe LaFrance. the Sapphire token reward, or Zhou Qi. Zhou Qi will be able to shoot a little bit, but Zhou Qi is going to be the second type of center. It is going to be a rim-running, shot-blocking center who can dunk and just catch the ball inside. Don't really need post moves. The two of them, I think, are going to be the most effective way to play with centers, with my playstyle anyway. Neither of them are on. And the third way is going to be post-game. And I believe there is one center in the game launch that is going to dominate in the post. And that is Hakeem Olajuwon. If you guys do pick Hakeem Olajuwon, he will be a solid center. And if you guys want to post cheese, that will be your best option. However, it is definitely not something I'm going to be doing because I'm not great with post game, but I know some people are. If you don't want to run with Hakeem Olajuwon in the post, if you just want Hakeem to shot block and just kind of play as like a, I don't know, almost a modern day type center where it's just rim running, blocking, and dunking, I would advise you guys to use Zhou Qi instead. Do not waste your starter on Hakeem Olajuwon. But if you are a great post player, that would not be a bad option at all. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. So point guard position, 2 guard, small forward. One of those 3 is going to have to be your primary ball handler. And dunk rating is important. Your primary ball handler has to be a competent shooter, not a great shooter. But the other 2 of those positions got to be 3 and D. Power forward position, you can either go with a shooting shot blocker or a stretch 4. If you are going with someone like a Giannis or a Simmons at the power forward position who can't shoot, make sure that the other 4 players in your team can shoot and shoot really well. By shoot really well, I mean 82 or higher 3-point shot. At the center position, you can either run with a legit big man. I wouldn't advise you guys to use anyone that doesn't even have a mid-range shot, but you can run with a traditional big like Hakeem if you do pick him up, which I think he might be the only one that could play like that at launch. A shooter, or you can run with like a shot blocker, someone who's going to run and just get dunks around the basket, which is going to be effective as well. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.